It was a Sunday, just like today. And I was pregnant. We were thrilled. But my HCG levels were low, so something wasn't quite right. I didn't miscarry as my doctor said I might, so I was hopeful that my pregnancy would get better. Then, Sunday evening, I was cramping up so much that I wanted to call the doctor, but didn't at first. Then I started to get a sharp pain under my right breast, so I did call the doctor. I have since learned that this is, to quote reference books, an ominous sign, as it means blood is tracking up the abdominal cavity. The on-call doctor called me back and immediately apologized for being happily distracted. His sister was in labor at the hospital. I told him about the pain, and he quickly suggested that I sent my husband out for Pepto-Bismol and to wink, wink, toughen up. So I did, and my husband did, and I took the Pepto-Bismol. A decade earlier, I had survived a horrific car accident that left me in a coma. When I awoke, the right side of my body was paralyzed. I fought hard to recover, so frankly, I do think of myself as tough. Surely I could handle this. But that night, pain kept waking me up. And about 6 a.m, my husband was jolted awake by a thud in the bathroom. He looked around and didn't see me until he ran into the bathroom where I lay unconscious on the floor. He called the doctor and got me to the nearest hospital. I was quickly wheeled into the sonogram room, and after numerous attempts to find our baby, a doctor was called in and said, and I quote, "All I can see is blood." My right fallopian tube had burst from an ectopic pregnancy. Everything went quickly then. Orderlies were running with my stretcher. I was prepped in a hallway for surgery. All the while, nurses covered me with heated blankets because I was shivering so much from the loss of blood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blankets covered me, and still I shook. So there I was, bleeding internally, being wheeled into the OR. My husband had tears in his eyes and said only 3 words: "Don't leave me." I didn't want to, but I was so tired. Not the kind of tired you feel when you need a good night's sleep. I was exhausted. I could physically feel all the systems in my body slowing down, slowly slowing down. And I suddenly realized that all of that excruciating pain had stopped. And I had a moment of clarity, and it hit me. This is bad. I'm bleeding to death. They put me on the operating table, and I remember how cold I was. The nurse looked down at me and said they would help me. She had beautiful blue eyes, and the light was coming down around her face. And I thought she looked like the Virgin Mary, and I was comforted. The anesthesiologist told me to count backward from 100, and I almost did. But I stopped myself for only a moment, took all the strength I had left, and screamed inside my head, "Please, God, do not let me go out this way. I have fought too hard for life. Please, not this way." And then I started counting. 100, 99, 98, fade to black. A few days later, a few more little scares, and I was feeling pretty good, believe it or not. I was at home and relaxing because I couldn't do much else, and I was so grateful to be okay. A couple more days went by, and just for a moment, I thought back to that ultrasound. All I can see is blood. And I started to cry. And then I wept. And I wept. For my baby. For my baby who never got a chance. Almost 2 years later, I delivered my healthy and happy son. He gives us such joy, and he makes me laugh. And sometimes I'm amazed by how wise he is beyond his years. And on those occasions, I allow myself to believe that he is blessed with an extra little angel, one who is always looking out for him.